Kia has come a long way since the first boxy Sportage made its appearance here in the 1990s. In fact, it's hard to equate that car with the sleek and very upmarket machine that the Sportage has now become. This is the fourth generation version, and it is by far the smartest yet. Smart is probably an understatement for a vehicle and a brand that has progressed in leaps and bounds. Modern-day Kias can be proud about their Korean origin, thanks to a reputation for reliable engineering, increasingly attractive cosmetics, high specification levels and compelling value for money. In the Sportage's case, 3 generations of development has seen a boxy and flimsy vehicle transformed into a robust and advanced SUV, offering a choice of drivetrains and an interior that's both spacious and well equipped. It's definitely a vehicle that attracts attention, and for all the right reasons. One of the best decisions Kia ever made was hiring ex-Audi designer Peter Schreier. Over the past 10 years or so, he's created a look that's both European-inspired and thoroughly original. In fact, this latest Sportage combines those clean, minimalist lines with a distinctive character very effectively indeed. The Kia design language has become increasingly European-inspired, with an uncluttered elegance that creates an upmarket impression. The front end is more confident than its predecessor, giving the big front grille plenty of sheet metal real estate and positioning the trapezoidal headlights higher up along the fender line. The body contours are smooth rather than sculpted, while the rear relies on the sharp-edged taillights, chromed tailgate garnish and an integrated roof spoiler for visual interest. But the overall impression is stylish and contemporary. It's now an SUV that exudes both a confident identity and a purity of purpose. There's a lot to like in the cabin as well. The interior of the Sportage is further proof of Kia's move upmarket. The materials and finishes are very much luxurious, and the list of standard equipment in this car is longer than my arm. However, the switchgear is surprisingly busy, considering the minimalist, very clean exterior treatment. The battery of buttons, switches and knobs may look impressive, but there are more user-friendly ways to organize the switchgear. That aside, the infotainment system's color screen is a boon, making at least that aspect of the vehicle easy to use, while there's plenty of space front and rear. The level of standard equipment is comprehensive. But it's the attention to detail that impresses, extending to the tactile appeal of the finishes, including stitched leather upholstery and soft-touch surfaces. But is it equally appealing on the move? The least impressive part of this particular Sportage model is the engine. It's a 2.4-litre 4-cylinder petrol unit and credited with 137 kilowatt of maximum power, linked to 257 newton-meters of torque. But it is a very peaky unit, and combined with the loss of power at altitude, it means that the car feels a lot lazier than you expect, despite those figures. It's not that one expects an SUV like the Sportage to be a sports car, but given its bulk and the ability to carry 5 adults and luggage, it needs to be lively, if only to ensure incisive overtaking and decent mid-range response. Ride and handling is exemplary for a vehicle in this segment. Despite the taller stance and raised seating position, body roll is never an issue, while the Kia turns in smartly and shows good poise through curves and corners. The standard all-wheel drive adds traction when needed, especially on wet or slippery surfaces. On the move, the Kia feels quite lively, although it's not as frisky as the figures suggest. Kia claims a 0 to 100 time of 9.6 seconds and a top speed of 192 kilometers an hour. But in practice, the car is definitely not up to that particular task. The reason is that the engine is on the peaky side and it doesn't have enough low-down grunt, so the 6-speed automatic gearbox tends to hunt, which spoils the overall driving experience. For that reason, a manual gearbox with closely stacked ratios would have been a far better partner for the 2.4-litre Theta engine, allowing its potential to be explored more effectively. It would probably benefit fuel consumption too. Our test vehicle averaged 8.7 litres per 100 kilometres, which translates into an operating range of around 700 kilometres. We'd wager that a manual model would be more economical though. Kia says the new Sportage is the safest yet, linking a total of 6 airbags and other passive measures to an advanced vehicle stability management system incorporating electronic stability control, ABS braking and the electric power steering system. This fourth generation Sportage sets new benchmarks for the Kia brand in terms of design, in terms of execution, and also in terms of space. It also has very high levels of standard equipment, which goes some way to vindicating its rather expensive asking price. On paper, Kia's familiar 2.4-litre engine should be a decent match for the latest Sportage, while all-wheel drive and an auto gearbox add convenience. High spec levels, plenty of space, a decent boot and high safety levels add further appeal, as does the elegant styling. But this SX model lacks dynamic verve, and it's not exactly cheap either.